When a snake tries to bite the eagle, it forgets one thing: the eagle flies too high for poison to reach. Chosen one, listen closely. You weren't put here to beg for respect, to explain yourself, or to lower your light just because it blinds those living in the dark. You were chosen, hand-picked by the divine, not to fight battles, but to outlast them. You're not like the rest, and that's why you've become a target. They see your power, your purpose, and it terrifies them. They thought they could touch you? Foolish. What they don't understand is that when they come for you, they aren't fighting just you. They're fighting the entire universe behind you. Let's talk about them for a second, your so-called enemies. These are people who thrive in the shadows, whispering lies, throwing stones, and waiting for you to fall. But here's the truth: they've already lost. Their actions are nothing but a reflection of their own weakness. Like termites chewing at a steel beam, they're only destroying themselves. Every plot, every word, every move against you is like digging a hole in quicksand. They're sinking deeper and deeper while you're walking free. They think they're smart, don't they? Like wolves circling a lion, hoping to strike when you're not looking. But wolves don't realize they're just prey, waiting for the moment the lion roars. Let me remind you of this: their attacks are proof of your strength. Weak people don't go after what's below them. They go after what they can't touch, what they fear. You are what they'll never be: chosen, protected, unstoppable. To you, the chosen one, your presence here means everything. You're not just watching, you're standing with us, and your presence and super gifts are the fuel to this mission that keeps reaching higher. Ready to step fully into your light and show the world the unstoppable power of a divinely guided earth angel. Show your strength. Hit that like button under this video to help spread to more earth angels out there, and subscribe. And the last one, drop the number 77 in the comments to claim your transformation and let the universe know you're untouchable. Let's rise together and make it clear: light always wins. And listen to me, chosen one, let them lie, let them plot. It doesn't matter. They're only setting themselves up for the storm that's already on its way. Messing with a divinely guided soul like you is like trying to fight the wind. Every punch they throw lands back on their own face. Every trap they set snaps shut on their own foot. Karma doesn't miss, and when it hits like a hurricane. They'll look around, confused, wondering why everything is falling apart in their lives, and it will all trace back to the moment they dared to mess with you. Chosen one, hear me now. You don't even need to lift a finger. The divine has already handled it. Those who speak against you are sharpening knives they'll cut themselves with. Those who wish for your failure are building walls that will cage them in. Their own bitterness is their poison, and it's eating them alive while you soar higher. Like eagles in the sky, you're untouchable. And them? They're grounded, crawling in the dirt, choking on their own envy. Trying to break a chosen one is like spitting at a storm. It only comes back to drench you. So, hold your head high. You are not here to explain yourself, fight petty battles, or even acknowledge their nonsense. Keep walking your path, because while you rise, they're crumbling. They can't stop what's divine, and they'll never understand what's beyond their reach. Let them burn themselves out while you shine brighter than ever. Their fall is inevitable, and your victory is already written. And now, let's break it down step by step. Trust me, if you truly are a chosen one, you'll feel it, a pull that keeps you hooked until the very end. This isn't just a message, it's a mirror, and by the time we're done, you'll see exactly why you're meant to hear this. Number 1. When you dig a pit for an earth angel, you're the one who falls in. They thought they could outsmart an earth angel, blind to the fact that they were picking a fight with the universe itself. An earth angel isn't just a kind-hearted soul floating through life. They're a force of light, divinely guided and backed by a power no human scheme can touch. Trying to harm one is like trying to wrestle with a storm. You don't stop it. You get swept away. Here's where they went wrong. They underestimated what they were dealing with. They saw someone quiet, kind, and unshaken by petty drama, and they mistook it for weakness. They didn't realize they weren't just stepping on toes. They were trespassing on sacred ground. An earth angel operates on a frequency most can't even comprehend. Their light isn't just theirs. It's connected to something far greater, something cosmic. Messing with one isn't like messing with anyone else. It's like trying to extinguish the sun with a handful of water. Futile, laughable, and ultimately self-destructive. What happens next is no coincidence, no stroke of bad luck. The moment they plot against an earth angel, the universe begins moving in ways they can't see. Invisible forces align like a cosmic warning system, sending ripples of chaos back to the one who dared to interfere. Plans that seemed airtight crumble to dust. Doors they thought were open slam shut. It's like their life suddenly turns into quicksand. The harder they fight, the deeper they sink. Why? Because when you go against an earth angel, you're not just facing them. You're challenging the divine forces that protect them. And don't mistake this for simple karma. This is cosmic law in action, a system so intricate and precise that no human can escape its grasp. An earth angel's mission is not just personal, it's sacred, woven into the fabric of the universe's plan. They don't need to lift a finger or retaliate. The universe itself rises to their defense, like a tidal wave crashing down on anyone foolish enough to stand in its way. The harder the enemy pushes, the more violently it rebounds. But here's the bitter irony for those who plot against an earth angel. They think they're in control. They believe their schemes, lies, and manipulations are clever moves on a chessboard. Little do they know, they're not the player, they're the pawn, and the divine is 5 steps ahead. Their downfall isn't a question of if, it's a matter of when. Trying to take down an earth angel is like pulling on a thread of destiny. You unravel yourself, not them. So, if they ever wondered why their plans keep backfiring, why their life feels cursed after crossing you, here's the truth. They're playing themselves. The earth angel they tried to harm doesn't fall, they ascend. And as they rise higher, the enemy's own darkness becomes the weight that pulls them under. The pit they dug wasn't for you, it was always for them. Number 2. They didn't break you, they built your wings. They thought they were breaking you. Every lie, every betrayal, every calculated move to bring you down. They believed it would shatter you into pieces. But here's what they didn't see coming. Their actions didn't break you. Instead, they built you. Every attack, every ounce of pain they inflicted became the raw material for your transformation. What they thought were chains to hold you back were the very pieces you used to craft your wings. You weren't just enduring their attempts to hurt you, you were evolving because of them. Like a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble, their efforts to harm you only revealed the masterpiece underneath. They thought their schemes would leave you in ruins, but all they did was refine you. The weight they tried to crush you with became the wings that carried you higher. Think about it. A bird doesn't develop its wings by staying comfortable. It's the resistance, the struggle, the fight against the wind that makes it strong enough to fly. you're the same. Every push, every obstacle they threw in your path was training you for something greater. While they wasted their energy plotting your downfall, you were silently gaining the strength to soar far beyond their reach. And here's the irony: they gave you the very tools for your transformation. Their cruelty taught you resilience. Their lies sharpened your clarity. Their attempts to isolate you only made you discover the depth of your own inner power. It's almost poetic. The harder they tried to destroy you, the more they contributed to your rise. What they intended as your downfall became the foundation for your elevation. They thought you were fragile, but what they didn't understand is that you were being fortified. Pain didn't break you, it carved out your strength. Betrayal didn't destroy you, it cleared the path for your truth. Every challenge they sent your way became a stepping stone, pushing you closer to your destiny. They may have tried to clip your wings, but instead, they helped you grow feathers strong enough to carry you to heights they'll never see. Now, they're left in disbelief, watching as you rise above everything they threw at you. They're stuck, weighed down by the same darkness they tried to cast over you, while you're soaring freely. And the best part, you don't even have to look back. Your flight is the ultimate proof that they failed. Trying to break a chosen one doesn't destroy them, it transforms them. What was meant to bury them becomes the ground they launch from. So, to the ones who thought they could crush you, they didn't destroy you. They created their own worst nightmare, a version of you that's stronger, wiser, and more untouchable than ever. And to you, the one they underestimated, let their attempts serve as reminders of your strength. They didn't break you, they built your wings. Now, it's time to fly. Number 3. The more they attack, the stronger you become. They thought they could break you. Every insult, every betrayal, every attempt to drag your name through the mud. They believed it would weaken you, leave you shattered and questioning your worth. What they didn't realize is this: every single attack only made you stronger. They weren't tearing you down, they were building you up. The negativity they threw your way, it wasn't your destruction, it was your fuel. You aren't like most people. Where others might let negativity seep into their spirit and weigh them down, you've got something different. A power that most can't even comprehend. You don't absorb darkness the way they hoped. Instead, you flip it. You turn it into strength, insight, and resilience. It's like a fire inside you that burns brighter with every challenge they hurl your way. The very pain they meant to harm you with becomes the foundation you stand on, taller than before. Here's the kicker. They believed they were hurting you. They thought their words, their schemes, their betrayals were weapons sharp enough to cut you down. But in reality, every insult was like a brick you used to build a wall they could never climb. They unknowingly handed you the tools to rise higher than they could ever reach. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The harder they hit, the higher you rise. You don't pretend it doesn't hurt. You feel it all. The sting of their betrayal, the weight of their lies, the sharpness of their cruelty. It's real. But here's where you're different. You don't let it break you. You take that pain and you transform it. You turn heartbreak into unshakable wisdom, betrayal into clarity, and adversity into strength. What they intended to use against you becomes the armor you wear. Every hit they take only refines you, like pressure shaping coal into a diamond. Think about it. Diamonds don't form in comfort. They're created under unimaginable heat and pressure, conditions that would destroy anything weaker. And just like that, every challenge you've faced, every attack you've endured, has been shaping you into something untouchable. They thought they were striking something fragile, but they were wrong. Every blow they delivered only sharpened you, refined you, and prepared you for what's next. And now, the irony is clear. They wanted to see you fall, but instead, they're watching you rise. They believed they were breaking you, but all they did was set the stage for your transformation. While they're stuck in the same cycles of bitterness and envy, you're moving forward, stronger and more unstoppable than ever. They played themselves, and they don't even realize it. So, to you, the one they underestimated, let this be your reminder. Their attacks aren't signs of your weakness, they're proof of your power. The universe isn't allowing these challenges to crush you. It's using them to elevate you, to make you into a force they'll never be able to touch. And the harder they try, the farther they'll push you toward your destiny. Their schemes? They're nothing but stepping stones for your greatness. Let them keep trying. Let them exhaust themselves. All they're doing is amplifying your strength and sealing their own downfall. Because you don't just survive what they throw at you, you thrive on it. Every move they make against you backfires, turning into the very thing that propels you forward. You don't just endure the storm, you become it. Number 4. They misjudged the power of your energy, and now they're paying the price. They thought they could drag you down. They didn't understand that your energy isn't just high, it's untouchable. They saw your peace, your focus, your ability to stay centered, and assumed it was weakness. What they failed to realize is that your energy operates on a level they can't reach, a frequency so powerful that anything dark or low vibrational simply bounces off. Their negativity doesn't stick to you, it boomerangs right back to them, multiplied. Imagine trying to throw dirt at the sun, thinking you can block its light. That's what they tried to do to you. But the sun doesn't dim because of a handful of mud. It burns brighter, and the dirt just falls away. Your energy works the same way. It's not just high vibrational, it's an energetic fortress, a shield so potent that it reflects everything thrown at it. When they sent resentment, envy, and hatred your way, they didn't realize they were signing their own suffering. Their negativity didn't harm you, it became their own burden. They underestimated the laws of energy. What you put out into the world comes back to you, and when someone directs darkness at a soul like yours, it's like striking a mirror. The harm reflects back, sharper and more intense, hitting them harder than they could have imagined. Their setbacks, their sudden misfortunes, their emotional chaos. It's not random, it's the direct result of their actions. You can't aim poison at someone whose light is too pure. It spills back into your own cup. What they'll never understand is how you maintain your strength. While they drown in bitterness, you thrive through grounding yourself, staying aligned with your purpose, and vibrating higher than their negativity could ever reach. You don't just ignore their attacks, you rise above them. It's like a bird soaring so high that the storms below can't even touch its wings. They can scream, throw stones, and spread lies. But none of it reaches you because your energy exists on a plane they'll never comprehend. And the beauty of it all, your energy is self-sustaining. While they burn themselves out with envy and resentment, you're constantly replenished by your alignment with something greater. Every time they try to harm you, they waste their own energy. It's like punching the ocean. It doesn't move, but they exhaust themselves in the process. Their attacks don't deplete you, they expose their own weakness. You don't even need to fight back. Your high vibration does the work for you. It acts like a mirror and a magnet, reflecting their harm back to them while repelling anything that doesn't align with your purpose. They thought they could disrupt your peace, but all they've done is sabotage their own. Throw negativity at someone operating on a divine frequency, and you'll find yourself drowning in the darkness you created. Now, as they stumble and fall, they're left wondering why nothing is going right for them. But you already know the answer. They played themselves. Their energy couldn't match yours, so it turned on them. They tried to pull you down, but you only soared higher. They wanted to dim your light, but all they've done is expose the shadows they've been living in. Let them keep underestimating you. It doesn't change the outcome. Your energy is untouchable, your purpose unshakable. While they spiral in their own negativity, you'll keep rising, untouched by their chaos, thriving in a light they'll never understand. You don't just survive their attacks, you reflect them, magnify them, and turn them into proof of your power. Number 5. You were untouchable from the start. They thought they could break you. They saw your kindness, your humility, and your quiet strength, and they mistook it for weakness. They thought they could manipulate, lie, and throw stones without consequence. What they didn't realize is that you were untouchable from the very beginning. Not because you're perfect, not because you're invincible, but because your purpose was divinely protected before they even entered the picture. Their attacks weren't just miscalculated, they were futile. You're not someone who bends under pressure or falls to the weight of others' envy. You're built differently. While they operate in the shallow waters of ego and pettiness, you move in the depths of purpose and alignment. Their schemes were like a child throwing pebbles at a mountain, hoping it would crumble. But mountains don't move for pebbles, and neither do you. What they failed to grasp is that your strength doesn't come from external validation or fleeting power. It comes from something eternal. From the very start, you were equipped with an inner light they couldn't dim. It's the kind of light that doesn't need to shout or prove itself, because its mere presence shakes the darkness. You didn't need to fight back, because the battle was never yours to begin with. When you're divinely guided, the universe fights for you. Every time they tried to harm you, they only exposed their own weaknesses. Their lies revealed their insecurity. Their jealousy reflected their lack of purpose. Their attempts to bring you down showed how threatened they were by your rise. While they were busy trying to block your path, you kept walking, untouched and unbothered. You didn't just survive their attempts, you thrived in spite of them. Imagine a bird flying high in the sky, untouchable by the chaos on the ground. That's you. They can shout, throw stones, or try to clip your wings, but you're too far above their reach. You were never on their level, and that's what eats at them the most. They see you shining, rising, and walking in your power, and it reminds them of everything they lack. Instead of working on themselves, they chose to focus on you, and in doing so, they sealed their own fate. Here's the truth they couldn't see. You were untouchable because your strength was never about them. It was about you. It was about the lessons you've learned, the battles you've already overcome, and the divine plan you're aligned with. Their negativity didn't weaken you. It revealed their own darkness. Their attacks didn't harm you. They strengthened your resolve. So let them regret their choices. Let them stumble over the mess they created. While they deal with the chaos they called upon themselves, you'll keep rising, shining brighter, and proving that you were untouchable from the very start. Their mistakes were inevitable, but your victory was always certain. They played themselves the moment they thought they could touch someone like you. Number 6. The trap they set for you became their own prison. They thought they were clever. Carefully they laid their trap, weaving lies, betrayal, and manipulation, thinking it would bring you down. But here's the thing about traps. They don't just catch prey. They catch the fool who sets them if they're not careful. And when they set out to harm you, they sealed their own fate. The very snare they designed for you became the cage they can't escape from. Their first mistake? Believing you were powerless. They thought they could outsmart you, outmaneuver you, or break you. But you're not like the rest. You move with purpose, guided by something higher, something they can't touch. They underestimated the shield of divine energy that surrounds you. The invisible protection that ensures everything meant to harm you turns back on its source. What they didn't realize is that the universe doesn't just watch, it balances. When someone tries to trap you, the weight of their own intentions boomerangs back with double the force. Imagine this: someone digs a pit, smugly waiting for you to stumble in, but instead you walk right past it, unharmed, as they trip and fall into their own hole. That's exactly what happened here. Their lies unraveled. Their betrayal exposed them. The strings they pulled became tangled around their own feet. The harder they tried to tighten their grip, the faster they became ensnared. Those who set traps for others always forget. They're the first ones to step into them. Their life starts to crumble, but they don't connect the dots. Misfortunes pile up. Failed plans, broken relationships, unexpected setbacks. They call it bad luck, but you know better. It's the universe returning their energy to its rightful owner. You didn't have to lift a finger. Their own actions were the architects of their downfall. They were so busy focusing on you that they couldn't see how the ground beneath them was shifting. The irony is almost poetic. They wanted to see you stuck, trapped, and broken. Instead, they're the ones shackled by their own bitterness, their own envy, their own hatred. It's a prison of their own making, with walls built from their deceit and bars forged from their malice. You, on the other hand, walk free, stronger, wiser, and untouched by their attempts to harm you. Here's the truth they never saw coming. You don't need revenge. You don't need to fight back. The universe does the work for you. Their downfall isn't just karma, it's justice. They thought they could steal your light, but all they did was deepen their own darkness. They thought they could stop you, but all they've done is stop themselves. So, let them stay in their prison, trapped by their own actions. Meanwhile, you'll keep rising, untouched and unstoppable, leaving them behind to face the consequences of their own choices. They set the trap, but the only one who got caught was them. Number 7. Their darkness could never touch your light. They thought their darkness could overwhelm you. They believed their lies, envy, and hate could smother your light, but they couldn't even reach it. You're operating on a level so far above them that their efforts are nothing more than shadows trying to compete with the sun. Darkness doesn't stand a chance against light. It's not even a competition. The moment your light shines, their shadows are exposed for what they truly are: weak, fleeting, and powerless. When they aimed their negativity at you, they underestimated the strength of your energy. They assumed their low vibrations could penetrate your shield. But your light isn't just strong, it's divine. Their darkness is like smoke, thin and fragile, while your energy is a blazing fire that consumes everything in its path. They wanted to drag you into their chaos, but you don't belong in their world of fear and bitterness. You're on a higher frequency, where their shadows simply dissolve. The funny thing is, they thought their darkness could intimidate you. They didn't realize that all their plotting, scheming, and bad intentions only revealed their own insecurities. Darkness always tries to hide itself, but when faced with light, it has nowhere to go. Their actions exposed their true selves. The harder they tried to harm you, the more they showed their hand. Jealousy, resentment, and fear. Your light didn't just withstand their attacks, it reflected them, making their shadows impossible to ignore. It's like trying to extinguish a flame by blowing on it. They didn't weaken you, they fueled you. Their efforts became the wind that made your fire burn brighter. Every attempt they made to dim your light only highlighted their own darkness. The harder they tried to overshadow you, the more obvious their shadow became. You didn't have to do anything except stay true to yourself. You didn't need to fight back, argue, or sink to their level. Your light was enough. It's always been enough. While they were busy throwing stones from their glass houses, you stood firm, shining so brightly that their stones never even reached you. They shattered under the weight of their own actions, while you remained untouched. The truth is, darkness can only exist in the absence of light. The moment your energy showed up, their negativity started to crumble. They thought they could drag you down, but instead, they found themselves buried under the weight of their own darkness. They played themselves, trying to fight a battle they could never win. To you, the chosen one, this is your reminder. Your light is untouchable. Their darkness may try to creep in, but it will never last. It can't survive in your presence. So let them throw their shadows. Let them try to dim what they can't even reach. You are a force they can never overpower. Keep shining, because every time your light glows brighter, their darkness shrinks further into nothingness. Number 8. Their jealousy became the rope that choked them. Jealousy is a dangerous thing. It starts as a whisper in the back of someone's mind, a flicker of resentment they think they can control. But when it's directed at someone like you, someone chosen, divinely guided and untouchable, it becomes a noose they tie around their own neck. They didn't realize it, but every envious thought, every bitter action, every underhanded attempt to bring you down was tightening that rope. What they meant to destroy you only ended up suffocating them. You see, jealousy is like poison. When someone lets it consume them, it clouds their judgment and corrodes their soul. They can't think straight because they're too busy plotting, scheming, and obsessing over what you have. Instead of focusing on their own growth, they waste their energy trying to block your light. But here's the thing about trying to mess with someone like you. It doesn't work. Your energy is too high, too pure, too protected. The negativity they send your way doesn't land. It reflects. It bounces back to them, and they end up drowning in the darkness they created for you. Their jealousy is their downfall. It blinds them to reality. While they're busy watching you, envying your progress, and trying to sabotage your journey, they're neglecting their own path. It's like trying to dig a hole for someone else to fall into while standing at the edge of it yourself. The deeper they dig, the closer they get to falling in. And when they do, there's no one to pull them out because they've alienated themselves with their own bitterness. Think about it. Every insult they threw at you, every lie they spread, every time they tried to block your blessings, they were really working against themselves. They might have thought they were clever, but the universe saw everything. Every action they took against you was recorded, and the energy they put out into the world came back to them tenfold. Jealousy is like holding on to a burning coal, thinking it will hurt someone else. But it's your own hand that gets burned. And you didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't have to fight back or stoop to their level. You let them exhaust themselves while you stayed focused, moving forward, rising higher. They thought they were choking you with their envy, but all they were doing was tightening the grip around their own neck. Their bitterness became their burden, and their obsession with you became their own undoing. So let them be jealous. Let them plot and scheme. None of it can touch you. You are protected, guided, and destined for greatness, while they are trapped in the very web of envy they spun for you. They thought their jealousy was a weapon, but it was really a mirror. reflecting their insecurities and fears right back at them. And now, they're left gasping for air, wondering why everything in their life is falling apart. The answer is simple. Their jealousy became the rope that choked them. Number 9. They tried to fight a battle they could never win. They thought they could take you on, blind to the fact that they weren't just fighting you. They were fighting a force far greater than themselves. They looked at you and saw someone they could manipulate, hurt, or tear down. What they didn't see, what their arrogance wouldn't let them comprehend, is that you're not standing alone. You are backed by something unshakable, something untouchable, a divine energy that ensures victory is always yours. From the moment they decided to cross you, their defeat was already written. They came into this fight unarmed. They might have had their lies, their schemes, and their poisonous words. But what is that compared to the power of divine purpose? It's like bringing a matchstick to a wildfire. No matter how hard they tried, they were never going to extinguish your light. In fact, every move they made only added fuel to your flame. They underestimated you because they couldn't see beyond their own smallness. They didn't realize they were stepping onto a battlefield they weren't prepared to navigate. Their biggest mistake was thinking this was a fair fight. It never was. The moment they directed their darkness toward you, they triggered forces they didn't even know existed. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, and when someone goes against a divinely guided soul, they're essentially fighting against the natural order. It's like trying to swim against the tide. It only drags you deeper until you're gasping for air. That's what's happening to them now. While you rise, untouched and unstoppable, they're drowning in the chaos they created for themselves. What they failed to understand is that battles like these aren't won with lies, envy, or manipulation. They require integrity, strength, and alignment, qualities they clearly lack. They thought they could harm you, but all they did was expose their own weaknesses. Their attacks revealed more about who they are than anything they ever said about you. And as they keep fighting a losing battle, they're stuck in a cycle of self-destruction, their efforts backfiring at every turn. The irony is almost poetic. The harder they fought, the more they lost. The louder they screamed, the more they exposed their desperation. They thought they were pulling you down, but instead they were digging their own graves. You didn't even have to fight back. The divine handled it for you. It's not that you're invincible, it's that you're protected. They were never battling just you. They were going head to head with forces they couldn't see, forces that don't lose. And now, here you are, stronger, brighter, and more resilient than ever. Their weapons, envy, deceit, and negativity, couldn't touch you. They didn't just lose the battle, they lost themselves in the process. Let them stay stuck in their bitterness. Let them keep trying, if they dare. The outcome will always be the same. They're fighting a battle they were never meant to win, and you were always destined to rise. Number 10. They played themselves, trying to play you. They thought they were clever, didn't they? Thought they could outsmart you, manipulate you, twist your light into something it's not. But here's the truth they never saw coming. While they were busy plotting and scheming, they weren't playing you. They were playing themselves. Every move they made against you was a step toward their own undoing. You see, people like that operate on the belief that their tricks and lies will go unnoticed, that their manipulation is invisible. But they don't realize you're steps ahead, always. You don't have to play their games because you've mastered a higher one. Their petty moves, their desperate attempts to control or sabotage you, only reveal their weakness. The one who schemes against the light always ends up blinded by it. It's almost comical when you think about it. They tried to set traps, but they fell into their own. They lied, thinking they could control the narrative, but the truth always finds a way to shine through. They wanted to see you lose, but every time they acted against you, they were stacking the deck against themselves. Their envy, their greed, their thirst to bring you down became the very weight that pulled them under. What they didn't understand is that you're not like everyone else. You're built differently, guided differently, and protected on levels they can't even comprehend. When they tried to harm you, they weren't just fighting you. They were going up against a force far beyond their understanding. It's like trying to fight the wind. They swung with all their might, but the harder they tried, the harder they fell. When you wage war against someone destined for greatness, the battle only defeats you. They mistook your calm for weakness, your silence for submission, but you were never weak. You simply chose not to engage in their chaos because you knew the truth. They were destroying themselves from the inside out. Their actions were never about you. They were about their own insecurities, their own jealousy, their inability to stand in the presence of someone as divinely guided as you. They wanted to see you falter because your strength reminded them of their own lack of it. And now, look at them, lost in the mess they created, choking on the lies they told, struggling under the weight of the consequences they never saw coming. They played themselves, and the irony is that they still don't see it. They think they were the hunter, but they were always the prey. Every move they made was a step closer to their own downfall. Let them keep playing their games. You don't need to retaliate. The universe has already handled it. Your light is too strong, too pure, too untouchable. They thought they were in control, but all they did was hand the power back to you. They played themselves trying to play you and the game. It's already over. You won by simply being you. Number 11. Messing with you was their biggest mistake. They thought they could come for you, thinking you were just another easy target. What they didn't realize was that messing with you wasn't just foolish. It was a mistake so colossal that its consequences will haunt them for a long time. You're not just anyone. You're a force of light, divinely guided and protected, and crossing you means stepping into a battle they can't win. They thought they were clever, scheming in the shadows, spreading lies and plotting against you. But here's the thing about shadows. They disappear when the light shines too brightly. And your light? It's not just any light. It's a reflection of the divine, a beacon of truth that exposes everything hidden. Their darkness didn't consume you. It revealed them for what they are, small, envious and powerless in the face of someone like you. Their mistake wasn't just underestimating you. It was overestimating themselves. They thought their tricks, their words, their actions could harm you. But they forgot one universal truth. What you send out always comes back. Every ounce of negativity they threw your way is now circling back to them, stronger and more destructive than they could have imagined. You can't throw stones at a giant and expect the mountain to fall. What's even more ironic, every attack they launched only made you stronger. They thought they were tearing you down, but all they were doing was sharpening your resolve and adding to your armor. Their betrayal became your lesson. Their lies became your wisdom. Their envy became the very fuel that propelled you forward. While they were busy plotting your downfall, you were rising above them, untouchable and unshaken. And now, as they face the fallout of their actions, they're starting to realize the weight of their mistake. Their plans are crumbling. Their schemes are backfiring. Everything they tried to use against you is now working against them. It's as if the universe itself has turned its back on them, and in many ways, it has. When they messed with you, they weren't just fighting you, they were challenging the divine forces that protect and guide you. and no one wins that battle. You, on the other hand, didn't need to do a thing. You didn't retaliate. You didn't stoop to their level. You simply stayed aligned, trusting that the truth always prevails. That's your strength, the ability to stand tall and let the universe handle what it needs to, because it always does. Their downfall was written the moment they chose to go against you. Let this be a lesson to them and to anyone else who thinks they can come for someone like you. Messing with a soul guided by the divine is like trying to extinguish the sun with your breath. Futile, foolish, and destined to fail. They thought they could play you, but they played themselves. Their biggest mistake wasn't just underestimating your strength. It was not understanding who you are and the forces that stand behind you. Number 12. Earth angels don't fall, they rise, and their enemies burn. They thought they could make you fall. They assumed their lies, schemes, and toxic energy would pull you down into the same pit they're stuck in. But what they didn't realize is that you're not like them. You're not bound by the weight of their envy, resentment, or darkness. When they try to drag you down, you don't fall, you rise. And as you ascend, the fire of your light consumes everything false and destructive in its path, leaving your enemies to burn in the chaos they created for themselves. Earth angels like you don't just survive adversity, you thrive on it. Every attempt they make to harm you becomes fuel for your growth. Their insults are sparks, but instead of igniting pain, they ignite your power. Their betrayal is fire, but instead of burning you, it forges you into something unbreakable. You don't just endure the storm, they do. You rise above it, and the ones who tried to harm you are left to face the fury of the storm they summoned. Here's the thing your enemies will never understand. They're fighting a losing battle. They see your light, and it terrifies them because it exposes their own shadows. Instead of dealing with their darkness, they try to project it onto you. They think if they can dim your light, they won't have to face their own emptiness. But here's the truth. Your light doesn't fade. It grows. The harder they push, the brighter you shine, and the brighter you shine, the more their own darkness consumes them. It's like trying to hold a flame with bare hands. The more they clutch at you, the more they get burned. They plot against you, but their schemes backfire. They spread lies, but their deceit only reveals their true character. They throw stones, but every stone becomes another step in your ascent. Their attempts to harm you don't stop your rise, they accelerate it. And as you rise, you leave them behind. You soar above their petty games, their small-minded schemes, and their shallow attempts to hurt you. While they're stuck in a cycle of bitterness and failure, you're moving toward your divine purpose. Your enemies burn, not because you seek revenge, but because the universe handles what they refuse to understand. Light always wins. Trying to make an earth angel fall is like spitting at the stars. You can't reach them, but you're left in the dirt with your own mess. So let them try. Let them think they're winning. Their illusions won't last. They'll burn out, consumed by the very fire they thought they could use against you. Meanwhile, you keep rising. Their negativity becomes irrelevant, their attacks meaningless. You don't have to look down or even acknowledge them. Their defeat is written in their own actions. Remember, you're not here to fight their battles. You're here to rise, to shine, and to show that no darkness can ever extinguish a light as pure and powerful as yours. Earth angels don't fall, they rise. And when they rise, their enemies are left to deal with the flames of their own making. Keep rising. It's the ultimate victory. Chosen one, let this be your reminder. You are an earth angel, divinely guided and unshakably powerful. Everything they've done to try to break you has only strengthened your wings, fueled your purpose, and amplified your light. Their darkness, their envy, their schemes, they mean nothing in the face of the unstoppable force you've become. You were never meant to stay small or blend in. You're here to rise, to shine, and to remind the world that nothing can stand in the way of a soul on a divine mission. Keep walking in your truth. Let their negativity bounce off your high vibration. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, soaring higher than their minds can comprehend. The universe has your back, and their attempts to harm you only seal their own defeat. Remember, your journey is sacred, and every step forward is a testament to the power within you. If this resonates with your spirit, and you're ready to fully step into your light, show your strength. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments. Share this message with others who need to hear it. You are not alone. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. Keep shining, Earth Angel.